Oh yeah. You know what time it is. It's YouTube Iceberg Explained. The massive one. Tier 6-3. Shout out to Swag Gwyn. Shout out to the Swag Penguin himself. Where after this video I'm shooting right here. Actually, the last one I just shot. You guys, if you watched that one, I had already seen the face reveal by then. My dude looks like Majestic Jesus. The Majestic. Other than that, let's hop into the video. Let's waste no time. I say that at the end. Remember to be your authentic self. Remember to be you. Remember to just live, man. Live this life. The body dissolves. It's a temporary consciousness. We are out of here. It's a simulation. I mean, look at all the stuff on this iceberg. Doesn't it prove that this world is just like a very intricate collective dream? Yeah, other than that, let's go. Let's go. That's a video I just shot before this one. Just listening to that song, man. Take me back 9 years ago. It's funny listening to that song now and being like, damn, as I'm older now I know all the innuendos in the song. But I was still a kid bopping my head to that.
Hello and welcome back once again to the massive YouTube iceberg. Woo! Today we'll be finishing up tier 6.
Woo!
Real quick, do you remember how in one of my previous videos I completely forgot to put in one of the entries despite writing and recording the whole thing? Yeah, I did it again in tier 6 part 2, so we'll be starting out with that entry before continuing into the rest of the tier. Without further ado, let's get right into it.
Global worldwide. Hold on, I want to bite this off to chew. Probably not good for my health, but whatever. Fuck it, we ball.
In February 2016, a channel popped up on the YouTube space. Global Worldwide was the name, and they begin uploading these strange videos that are a bit hard to explain. I can really only show you to explain what they are like. They seem to be created by combining random videos with no real rhyme or reason. A lot of it seems to be like public access TV, videos recorded with a person walking around with a camera, and yeah, I'm kind of at a loss for words how to describe this, although it does seem to have a clearly defined aesthetic, being some surrealist webcore kind of shit that I actually really like. The audio on these videos will either be very calming ambience or some data sorting audio like something out of Unfavorable Semicircle. Actually, that's a pretty apt comparison, especially given that Global Worldwide had 15,000 videos on it, although honestly I kind of like this one more. I quickly discovered that Global Worldwide was ran by a bot created by New York web designer Luis Corral that mashed together random videos, titles, and audio. Where were these sourced from, you may ask? Well, YouTube. This whole channel is just a bunch of mishmashed random YouTube videos, which I think is pretty cool.
What do you guys think? I've been thinking to do content, sort of that's kind of like, the word that came to mind was like liminal spacey, but not, I can't describe it as liminal spacey. I can describe one of the video ideas as being like liminal spaces, but doing content that's like just super wacky, or doing one of those ideas where it's like, you know how we see like the girl, what was her name, in the last one, where the guy tried to make a whole ARG with the gas mask, but she rose to fame by just kind of staring at the camera. I kind of want to do that essentially with commentary videos, or essentially already do that. But like if I'll run out of things to watch, which I don't, because I have so many requests from the past that I still haven't even finished, where it's like I could slowly just get back into doing SCPs and stuff, but essentially I want my channel to go down as the channel that had just mad videos where if you find one, it may actually have a lot of value to it. Like I'm not just saying random things, but then have videos where I am saying random things. But like essentially that, what do y'all think about doing content like that? It's just like, I take talking a lot to just a different extreme.
I'm
probably gonna end up doing it anyways, but I like that idea of that's just how I share. But I'm also like I said, like my dance videos and everything too. I can find a way of incorporating. I just have to consider myself variety. Like there's no one niche I'll stick to, but I'll try to coherently string it all together, I guess. But I want to find some fun Instagram videos to do, but I'm thinking of doing them weird dream-like videos where I just make a bunch of nonsensical edits put together and see what happens.
You probably all know the general deal with Kevin Spacy, but for a quick rundown, he's a wildly famous actor, performing in several iconic roles over the course of the past 3 decades, and it's fairly easy to say that he used to be one of the most well-respected actors in history. In 2017, as part of the Me Too movement, actor Anthony Rapp alleged that Spacy had made sexual advances towards him when he was 14 years old, and Spacy was 26. This kind of opened the floodgates for several others to come forward about similar abuse stories from the actor, with young men saying he assaulted them, and mothers coming forward saying he assaulted their sons. He was also included on Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs, but you know who wasn't? Now, I have no doubt most of you watching this are already familiar with everything I just said, but the question remains of what the hell this has to do with YouTube. Well, on Christmas Eve 2018, Kevin Spacy uploaded a bizarre video to his YouTube channel called Let Me Be Frank. In the video, he's wearing a Santa Claus apron and sipping from a mug in his kitchen. He begins monologuing in character as Frank Underwood, his character on the Netflix show House of Cards. His words were a little cryptic, but the whole message was basically just him denying the allegations against him, and as the title would suggest, asking the writers to have him back on the show, i.e., letting him be Frank. Get it? He was taken off the show for the last season, and the quality of the show suffered as a result, which some people weren't very happy about. This video is basically Spacy auditioning to get back on the show despite the fact that he committed sexual assault, which is kind of fitting in a fucked up way, because the character he plays also happens to be a manipulative psychopath who uses murder to get his way. Oh yeah,
art imitates reality? What?
Last part, 3 of the people that accused Kevin Spacy passed away over the course of 10 months. 1 hit by a car, 1 a suicide, and another through mysterious means. I'll let you all put on your tinfoil hats for that one. A year after...
Give me the tinfoil hat.
After the video, he posted another video on Christmas Eve again, where he's tending to his fireplace, and this video has a message about killing people with kindness. A very specific word choice he uses there that almost feels intentional. He also uploaded the video on Christmas Eve 2020, which isn't as disturbing as the last 2, as he's not in character. He's basically just expressing sympathy for those who are struggling to deal with COVID-19. He ended the tradition in 2020, having not uploaded a video since, and as it stands, his trial is still going on to this day. I think role-playing as a villain you play on a TV show is a crazy way to convince people you're innocent.
That lines up just a little bit too good.
Fun fact,
that lines up just a little bit too good. I didn't know any of that about him. Like, in all honesty. I knew who Kevin Spacy was because I remember his face, I swear, being used in memes where, like, he took off, like, a Kevin Spacy mask and it was him again. I remember that meme circulating. Playmate Tessie,
known as Maya West, was a pretty controversial YouTuber, Twitch streamer, and OnlyFans creator. In 2021, she came under fire for having an Omegle stream where she encountered someone who was wearing a wig because they lost their hair from leukemia. She proceeded to make fun of them, laughing at them and calling them a loser. This was the event that spiraled her into notoriety, oftentimes showcasing bouts of narcissism that are so extreme it might as well count as delusion, calling all of her perceived haters poor, irrelevant losers. Well, she's basically a walking god, proclaiming herself as the queen of YouTube, or queen of Twitch, or whatever. She essentially thinks she's the most popular person on the internet, despite having less than 10,000 subscribers.
It's gotta be a character.
On one of her sleeping streams, viewers could hear her father and her sister talking in the background, and through that conversation, found out where her father worked and got him fired for some reason. It was for this reason
Not the father catching a stray, man. You know these old heads are all about protect and provide for a family and hard work, and come on now, not the father. Like, I understand if they want to target her, which I still don't understand really targeting someone that's just being a clown on the internet. Like, I mean, does she maybe deserve to get bullied and stuff like that from her actions? I mean, I get, you know, you reap what you sow, but like, her father, man.
That he kicked her out of the house, and she called 911 on him, claiming abuse. Now, she was even on Dr. Phil. For more info on this case, check out this video by The Asher Show. Cartoon Incorporated was allegedly a YouTube account that would upload these strange videos that have these titles that are sequels to popular children's properties. You know, Frozen 3, Powerpuff Girls 4, Teen Titans Go 7, so on and so forth.
What am I
Each
seeing?
video is exactly 26 minutes and 29 seconds. And when you click on the videos, they're these abstract light shows that include subliminal messaging intended to groom young viewers into being more vulnerable to pedophilia. This channel was brought to light by a content creator known as Mama Max in a video called cartoonincorporated.mp4, which is also 26 minutes and 29 seconds long, and now stands at over 2.5 million views. In the video, he also goes in depth to the comment section, where there were several accounts pretending to be child-oriented celebrities, like Finn Wolfhard, Jake Paul, and Jacob Sartorius, and they asked children to contact them through the replies. This would lead Max to do so, posing as a little girl, and he would get their information and report them to the FBI, Chris Hansen style. Finally, he reported the channel to YouTube, and all of its contents were wiped from the internet as a result, with the only evidence that it ever existed being his video showcasing his epic win. This whole situation is really controversial, as it's entirely possible that Cartoon Incorporated was never a real channel to begin with. In the video, Max only shows a small snippet of one of the videos on the channel, which, by the way, bears a striking resemblance to Max's own editing style, and that's it. Apparently, despite the videos all having a couple thousand views, not a single archive exists anywhere, nor is there any discussion of it whatsoever that isn't tied to Max's video. Some say that Max wouldn't do something like that and that he's like a trusted content creator, but like, are you sure?
Oh, Mama Max didn't. Oh wait, I thought I heard something come out about this guy. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like, I don't remember.
In the last video alone, we talked about Godly Recon, a fake channel made up by Nation Squid, and Comtest, a fake channel made up by the Tekka Realm, both of which being creators with very large followings. It's entirely possible that Mama Max made this up for views. However, it's also not something that's confirmed to not exist, like those other two examples I just listed, so I guess it's one of those things where it's up to you, the viewer, to decide for yourself. I personally call bullshit.
You know what's kind of crazy is like, since I'm coming fresh off of the last video, it's weird that they can report a literal guy who is about to, you know, go commit school bangings, right, to the FBI, and they didn't do anything, but then he's claiming that he reported these, you know, pedos information to the FBI, and kind of makes it seem like something went down, from what I'm guessing, and then got the channel blasted by YouTube.
Amelia Fart, nice name, is a content creator who's been around since 2012. Her videos are quite off-putting and strange, done rather intentionally so. I think she's rather similar to Leslie Hall, although she seems a bit more serious and rather poetic about the way she acts and talks. I'm having a hard time pinpointing exactly how to describe her without just showing you her. She's worn a scarf like permanently for a very long time, and her whole thing seems for like empowerment, so good for her. I also think she's kind of out of place in this tier, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, she kind of seems like she'd be someone on the lower tiers. I meant to say that for certain topics on the tier, they feel like they jump around, but that's okay, because like I get it. Potted freaking damn near put every single thing, you know, that like I'm sure he felt like deserved to be on certain tier sides or whatever, and just was like, oh, maybe I don't know about this, let's throw it here. But I feel like, yeah, some of these tame people need to be back down to the beginning for sure.
Stas Refl, real name Stanislav Reshetniak, is a Russian live streamer and YouTuber who mainly made videos revolving around video games. On his streams, however, he usually wouldn't be playing video games. Instead, people would donate to him so he could abuse his girlfriend. On one stream, he would make her eat trash, another time he would pepper spray her in the face, and another time he would pour hot sauce on her face. This all came to a point in December 2020 when he received a $1,000 donation asking him to lock her outside in her underwear. Keep in mind, this dude lives in Moscow, which is a pretty cold place, especially in the winter, and also keep in mind she was pregnant when this happened. Ooh. The only known archive of the stream shows Stas dragging her back into his room, telling her that she looks, quote-unquote, dead. As it would turn out, she had passed away that night from hypothermia. Stas was found guilty. of manslaughter and sentenced to 6 years in prison. Apparently, this style of streaming is known as thrash streaming, sometimes called trash streaming, where people will put themselves or other people through humiliating and sometimes painful acts in exchange for donation money. And it was very popular on the Russian side of the internet. It could be compared to the rumors of red rooms, an unconfirmed urban legend where people will pay to watch someone be tortured and killed.
Well, I mean, this kind of just shows you evidence that, like, things like the Red Room definitely do exist on certain corners of the internet. Of, like, I guess the darker parts of it, like the dark web. But, no way, bro. No way he accepted. Did she go along with it? Like, I'm so confused why she would get...
in the dark web. However, unlike red rooms, this was a confirmed event, and it also all happened on the surface web. There's a lot of talk about the scary, fucked up shit that happens on the deep web, but sometimes the surface web might be just as bad.
Just as bad, right, bro? That makes you think, like, the stuff in the deep web must be just, like, a whole nother level. Like, I've seen it. Someone, doggo barking. Someone had, doggo being a doggo. I'm a little bit tired because I had a big meal. But I've seen someone go on the dark web from their computer while I was like Skyping them. And like you do find a lot of weird stuff, but I'm like, look at the surface web, man. Look at it for real. Poor thing, man. Like, I don't like. Man, my thoughts go out to her, dude. Rest in power. That's fucking crazy. My dude lost his I'm assuming he lost his child and his... Like I said, man, are we not in a simulation, bro? Like, and I'm not saying anyone who doesn't commit these acts are just automatically on a high horse. But I feel like there's a real balance to the way you move on Earth. Like, you know, I feel like I'll give you an example of my past life, but I'm talking about like past memories around 16, 18. I always had this like justice system in me, where it's like I do feel like you really do reap what you sow, and kind of karma and things like that. But then I also believe like if you got to tell someone off, I mean, tell them off. Like, don't just let people, you know, walk on you, but you can always find a way of asserting who you are without having to, like, well, you being who you are is going to trigger people, but like, you know, that type of thing is like what I mean is like, there's just like, I guess I'm using these examples for like, there's a balance to Earth. Like, you know, some of this shit should really be called out, or like, I mean, I get like some people want to do shock value content, or it seems like they do some real stuff. It's so ironic that that's Russian content, bro. Have y'all seen like the Russian police video? I don't know if that was fake or staged, where it showed like the Russian police being like some ninjas. Russians seems to like some hardcore motherfuckers. It's probably because of the cold, bro. We have
Walls Fall Out is a song and music.
We have this thing here, and I don't know if it's similar all over the US, but it's like when the weather gets nice, everyone starts acting out, but when it's cold, nobody wants to start anything. It's like the Russians, or them over there, are opposite of that. When it's cold, it just boosts their stats by 100, man. They get all max stats and strength, power, intelligence, and just, well, I don't know necessarily, no, because that could be intelligent, but it could just be greed, lead you to unintentionally off your wife, man, or girlfriend.
By Cheryl Trigg Murkowski, a character created by a drag queen podcast called Yeast Radio. It's an utterly bizarre music video featuring imagery with deep-faked women or CGI or whatever is making their face move around like that. It also features imagery of this anorexic woman and whatever the hell is going on here.
What is going on?
Apparently, a lot of what's in this video are actually inside jokes from the podcast. The character Cheryl Murkowski is a parody of Sylvia Browne, an infamous celebrity author who claimed to be a medium with psychic abilities. The song even samples her husky voice that was destroyed from years and years of smoking cigarettes. The character is used for shock value, as the podcast runners would often call up Christian hotlines and just say the grossest shit possible. The song itself, from what I can gather, is about abortions and anal prolapses, which is, you know, awesome. A lot of the visuals are taken from reality TV shows like Honey Boo Boo, because the podcasters apparently just find them fascinating. I would not know any of this if it wasn't for this comment by Eating Your Waffles that's pinned on the re-upload, so shout out to them.
King Von is on this list? I'm not sure if anyone has tried to write a proper explanation for the video, but I'll give it a shot. I was haunted by this. I looked at, so haunted that I looked into the origin. Oh, so it's what he said. Yeah, very interesting, bro. Why is King Von on here?
King Von was a rapper from Chicago that isn't super related to YouTube, so I'll keep this brief. Basically, he was a pretty popular rapper, but also had several run-ins with the law. In 2014, he was arrested in connection with a shooting that resulted in the death of a man named Malcolm Stuckey. He was charged with first-degree murder, however, he was found not guilty after witnesses failed to testify. In 2019, he was arrested in connection with another shooting in Atlanta, where he was alleged to shoot a man named Alexander Witherspoon. However, he was arrested on $300,000 bond. In 2020, he was involved with an altercation with another rapper, Quando Rondo, that quickly escalated into gunfire, and he was shot multiple times, fatally. In 2023, more than 2 years after his death, a 4-hour-long documentary about the rapper called King Von, Rap's First Serial Killer was uploaded by a man named Traplore Ross that went in-depth about his murders, painting him as the serial killer that he was. Finally, just recently, a posthumous album was released called Grandson that compiled several songs he never got to release. Again, this isn't super related to YouTube. I mean, he does have a YouTube channel, I guess, but so does every musical artist ever. But hey, I didn't make the iceberg.
Interesting.
Seraphim Simulation is a video uploaded by DNFMA1 in 2020, and is meant to be a representation of what a biblically accurate angel would look like. This isn't actually an original video. The footage is taken from a video by Symmetric Vision that's supposed to be a simulation of what taking DMT looks like, which, I mean, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And the song is 13 Angels Standing Guard Around the Side of Your Bed by ASMZ. Not really a whole lot meaningful to say about this, but it does look pretty trippy.
I want to tell you a little story. A few months back, my friend...
So, YouTube fucking sucks, right? I mean, it really honestly doesn't. It's probably the best major social media in my opinion, but it does have a lot of very clear issues. Like, you're a little too edgy and your video gets demonetized, and you're not edgy enough and your video gets marked for kids. There's also the copyright bullshit and the changes in layout, the last couple rewinds showing that staff is majorly out of touch with its audience, all the cases of sexual exploitation sneaking its way into the platform, and many other things that I've already covered, and will probably continue to cover too. So the obvious question is, why doesn't anyone leave? Surely we can all just collectively agree to move to some similar platform and leave this.
If that was possible for absolutely with anything in life, we would have a dangerous amount of power within the people. Surely we could collectively agree and move. No, man. If that on anything could happen, you can make waves with anything. Boycotts, anything.
Side behind, right? Well, people have tried that, and over the years there have been several alternatives to YouTube that have sprung up. Some more successful than others. Let's go over all the major ones. First, before Google acquired YouTube, there was Google Video, which actually was created a whole month before YouTube, although it didn't actually have any video sharing functionality until a bit later. The platform was short-lived though, as once YouTube was acquired in late 2006 by Google, the platform was rendered basically useless, and stopped allowing uploads in 2009, and shut down completely in 2012. Next, we have Dailymotion and Vimeo, also both started around the same time as YouTube, which are still around today. They're a bit more lax with their tendency to ban stuff, at least compared to YouTube, and as a result, they've gotten banned in certain countries, but hey, so is YouTube. There's not really a whole lot that separates these platforms from YouTube outside of a few key differences. Vimeo doesn't have ads, but also has a limited amount of videos you can upload per week, and Dailymotion puts a heavier emphasis on professionally made content. There's also foreign alternatives to YouTube, like Japan's previously mentioned Nico, China's Yoku, and Russia's RuTube? RUTube?
I don't know, are you? There was also KidsTube in 2008, created by Sean Sanksel, which was a child-oriented YouTube alternative that existed far before YouTube Kids did. It allowed for children to upload their own videos, and to prevent the creepy stuff you might expect from a site like this, every single video uploaded had to be pre-approved by a moderator. Described as a breeding ground for positivity, unlike the rest of the internet, the best thing I could compare it to is a mix between YouTube and Scratch, if you ever heard of that. It was shut down around 2014 to 2015 for unknown reasons and no warning given. Thanks to this, countless videos from the site have become lost media. Not that there was anything super substantial on the website, mostly just Windows Movie Maker stuff, but still. I bet a lot of former users have grown up and are sad they'll never see their old content again. And then, of course, there's the edgier YouTube alternatives that started directly because people were unhappy with the way YouTube was run. These are usually because YouTube apparently has a lack of free speech. One example of this is BitChute, created in 2017 by Ray Vahe, which advertises itself as an anti-censorship
Alright, let's go.
pro-free speech alternative. This site is populated almost entirely by extreme far-right individuals, conspiracy theorists, and hate speech, all of which were people who were banned from other platforms for promoting these kinds of things. It kind of sucks because this is a trend that exists with a lot of these quote-unquote censorship-free YouTubes, as the only people who would willingly go to a content creation site exponentially smaller than YouTube are people who are just physically not allowed to post there because their content is just that vitriolic. People who have posted to BitChute include Canadian white nationalist Lauren Southern, other Canadian white nationalist Stephen Molyneux, American filmmaker Mickey Willis, director of the film Plandemic, and of course, far-right conspiracy theorist Alex Jones. Going even deeper, there's DTube, which is like a cryptocurrency-oriented YouTube that uses quote-unquote blockchain to stop revenue censorship. So basically you can't get demonetized here. Instead of showing views on videos, they'll now show how much DTC a video has earned, which is a cryptocurrency. Kind of weird, but I guess it makes sense. I guess. Not really. There's of course also Vidly, launched in 2015 by a German programmer named Jan-Nick Uhl, whose main goal is to replicate the look and feel of old 2007 era YouTube. This one in particular has quite a storied past, as many moderators had extreme conflicting ideals on what side Vidly should take on the whole censorship thing. It started out pretty successful in doing what it set out to do, as for a good while, Vidly really felt like the golden years of YouTube. At least to its user base, I never went on it. However, the site changed owners quite a few times, and moderation just kept getting worse and worse, to the point where it's sold to this shady Russian network called the Kalima Network, which basically doesn't moderate it whatsoever. And just by going to the front page, you can kinda see what culture exists there today. Some people are just desperately trying to revel in the old YouTube aesthetic, and I guess now the old Vidly aesthetic, while others post hate speech, porn, and straight-up gore. I wouldn't be surprised if there were more illegal forms of porn here too, if you catch my drift, but I don't really care to scout that out. Sorry. The sites I just listed are only a handful of the crazy amounts of alternatives to YouTube that have been pushed forward over.
I mean, you have the current one. That was first thing I was thinking of, but I don't know if it was out a year ago, which is insane, because when was this video done? 11 months ago? So, like, Rumble.
Years. While some have minor amounts of success, there still has never been a site to put a dent in the ridiculous monopoly YouTube has over the internet video sharing market, which kinda sucks because while I would never want to leave YouTube, I do wish there was some kind of a reason for the people that run the site to give a shit about actually making it more user-friendly, both for creators and viewers. But YouTube is just so synonymous with internet videos in general that I could never really see anyone competing with them. But hey, it could be worse. YouTube could go the way of Netflix and just have every company ever make their own fucking Disney Tube and Amazon Tube and...
Oh my god.
Yeah, you know what? I'm fine with what we have. 70 Broad was an ARG on YouTube that's now almost completely privated, outside of a couple videos. The series started with an extremely low-quality video uploaded in 2007. Many years later, he made a playlist about what's been going on in his life since then, and he started uploading videos basically admitting to being a serial killer, looking around in a very shifty manner, and that's pretty much the plot of the series. It's about a guy who kills people and very clearly shows remorse for what he's done, begging the viewers hysterically for forgiveness.
Wait,
the whole thing is pretty amateurish, and the
Oh.
creator gave a lot of hints that the thing was a facade. Nonetheless, the series gained a bit of traction, and even a handful of people asking if it's real. The point where the series kind of gets interesting is that he reveals it to be fake once people ask. Soon after, he announces he'll have to stop the series as the police have become involved.
The channel would then soon turn into a personal channel, giving a retrospective look on the ARG and a larger window into his life. However, viewers would also see his life slowly deteriorate thanks to his web series, just like the character he used to play. He's kicked out of university, removed from his house, and is forced to become homeless. However, as it would turn out, that wasn't actually true. While police did intervene, he wasn't forced to become homeless or anything, and it didn't really affect his life in any major way. It was simply all a part of the series, which kind of makes this whole thing be sort of a mindfuck, you know? You can't really tell where the alternate reality ends and the real reality begins, and it even had large YouTubers at the time fooled. Inside of Mind had a pretty good 3-part series on this, so go check that out if you're interested.
That's actually sick. Oh yeah, here's the new Ray-Ban glasses that got cameras on them and shit. They're only like $300. Do you think that's kind of pretty, like, you know, when you're thinking about like an iPhone or something, the newest iPhone being like $300 or $400, or even like a PlayStation console? Look at the new glasses that people will be rocking. Crazy.
Nikki Philippi is a vlogger who is well known for her videos about her family, documenting her life as a mother, taking care of her child Logan with help from her husband Daniel Philippi, etc, etc. She's infamous though for 2 major controversies that got her into a lot of hot water with the YouTube landscape. First of all, the family had a dog, a bull terrier named Bowser, who was Dan's dog for the past 10 years. Logan, the child, at one point began pulling on the dog's ears, poking him in the eye, and stealing his food, and in retaliation, the dog bit him. This was, from what I can gather, the only instance of the dog ever acting out in this way. But still, in 2021, they posted a video called "We Have Some Really Sad News," which is miraculously still up, where they talk about how as Logan got older, he would abuse the dog more and more. This eventually culminated into their decision to euthanize Bowser. In the video, they allege that they called the Humane Society, who ordered them to put him down, which is kind of suspicious when you remember the dog only ever bit anyone once, in self-defense. Once this whole debacle happened, people were reminded of the couple's history of narcissism, more specifically their other big controversy. In 2018, they had announced that they would be adopting a new child, one that comes from Thailand. No doubt done as some kind of pseudo-humanitarian, look how good of people we are stunt. However, they quickly ran into a roadblock in the process. Sometime later in the same year, they uploaded a video called "We're Not Adopting from Thailand Anymore," where they explained their decision to abort the process. You see, Thailand has a law in place that adopted children could not be used in any form of social media until a year after they arrive at the adopter's house. This would mean that they couldn't photograph or film the child, or have them in any videos on their YouTube channel. So of course they decided against adoption, because in their eyes, what's the fucking point of having a child from a foreign country if you can't use it to make them? At the end of the day,
what has happened to the internet, bro?
Philippis are just another family channel that has a ridiculously toxic dynamic, which is all too common with these types of channels.
I was gonna make a video on family channels, funny enough.
Daniel Silva is a tattoo artist and YouTuber from California. In 2020, fellow YouTuber Corey
Bro, like what? They were gonna adopt a child from Thailand, but they decided to abort the child, and then they said if they said it was because of that law, that's what I'm picking up off of what Swegwin is saying. The world is it's a sin, man. It's crazy.
Barry was at a party with him, and they were both intoxicated when Silva had the bright idea of driving him home. He began driving so fast that he lost control of his vehicle and slammed right into a tree, followed by a street sign in North Hollywood. LeBarry, the passenger, was killed, while Silva tried to flee the scene but was stopped by witnesses. Silva was sentenced to 1 year in prison with 5 years of probation and 50 hours of community service. When he got out of prison, he posted a video to his YouTube channel where he apologizes for, quote, all the pain that everybody's going through, which is kind of an insane way to respond to being responsible for the death of your friend.
Yeah. Mad that... What?
Thaddeus McMichael, perhaps better known by his online alias MadThad0890, was an active 4chan user and YouTuber. He would start uploading videos to YouTube.
Guys, if you can, please explain to me like 4chan. 4chan is like the dark place, right? That's like the, oh man, like you hear 4chan and you're right shaking your head. Can someone confirm that in the comments?
YouTube of himself singing anime openings and talking about current events early on in YouTube's lifespan, being 2008. although apparently he had an older account that was deleted. What would really gain him stardom, though, is his obsession with the character Konoha Katsura, a 15 to 16-year-old anime girl who's one of the main characters in school.
Brother, no.
School Days, an adult visual novel released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2. In one of his videos, he's singing happy birthday to a framed image he has of her, and in another, she's the only person that came to his birthday party. On
I'm not looking at this.
Facebook, he made a page for her called My Waifu that he would use to roleplay as her, telling him how much she loved him. This is where this image came from, which you might recognize if you looked at a lot of cringe compilation type stuff in the early 2010s. It's literally him talking to himself, saying to not be tsundere. In fact, he even went as far as to purchase a Konoha body pillow and videotaped himself having sex with it, which he then posted on his Tumblr. It would be at this point that
Let's continue. Bro.
Thaddeus would become kind of suspect, to put it lightly, as if, you know, having sex with a body pillow of a 15-year-old girl wasn't weird enough. He would upload a video in 2010 called Tokyo's Virtual CP Bill and Funimation Dance in the Vampire Bund Edits, where Thad provides commentary on Funimation's censorship of an anime called Dance in the Vampire Bund, which features child nudity. He doesn't really like this, as he said that he enjoys watching animated CP, or lolicon for the more inclined, while he hates real-life CP. This is not for the, you know,
CP? Oh my goodness. I'm like hearing him say it, but I'm like not connecting it. I'm like lolicon, CP, and then I'm like, wait, lolicon, is that the stuff that has to do with like liking the characters that are like, well, I don't know if it's another subgenre of that, but like the character is portrayed as like a very young looking girl, but she's really like 300 years old, and they're like, what? And like, see, he doesn't like real life CP, but what? So he likes the animated CP? Did I just miss this?
2010 called Tokyo's Virtual CP Bill and Funimation Dance in the Vampire Bund Edits, where Thad provides commentary on Funimation's censorship of an anime called Dance in the Vampire Bund, which features child nudity. He doesn't really like this, as he said that he enjoys watching animated CP, or lolicon for the more inclined, while he hates real-life CP. This is not for the, you know, basic human morality side of things, but rather because he just doesn't find real people attractive. In this video, he also fears that if lolicon gets banned, then perhaps it'll lead to a slippery slope where incest and rape hentai will also get the boot, which he wouldn't be very happy about. He even
Earth is a simulation. I'm not judging, bro, but listen to this. I bet if you're someone who has strong beliefs and beliefs on certain things, this is rocking you right now to hear this. To me, it's the wildest thing. I just would not... Like, I could imagine that people, like, exist like this. Obviously, there's weird corners of everything. This is just a whole nother level, just an odd thing to hear.
even follows this up by saying he wishes he had a little sister himself, so he could, you know... Interesting stance to take when he was...
I thought he just said... Yeah, this is the disturbing tears.
just talking about separating fiction from reality.
Yeah.
Thad would continue to spiral into all this CP talk until 2011. His house would be searched by the FBI thanks to some concerning Facebook posts he would make. According to police, Thad would post extensively about his interest in both drawn and real-life CP, asking his friends what the best place to look for and download it would be. According to this article by the New Haven Register, one of his friends posted on October 3rd, 2011, "Stop downloading all that CP, Thad, you're just asking for it." To which he would respond, "Well, tell 7-year-old girls to stop being so damn sexy." He told investigators that the post was a joke. A month later...
No, it's not a joke. Like, that shit's not a joke if you're actively expressing your passion for why you're mad at the censorship of this stuff. It just writes itself. Like, I get if someone, like, makes a joke about it, but then their whole character, or even the things they talk about passionately, like don't even like it would just completely contradict who they may be or who they may authentically be. It's like out of nowhere. You guys know it would be super out of character for me to make a joke about this or be like, yeah, I'm kind of into lolicon sometimes. Like that'd probably raise a like eyebrow, like, huh? But like then if it was never mentioned again or something like that, it'd be like, okay, like that was weird, Lunar, but you know, but like I don't get I I can't say I don't get it, to each their own, but I don't see the attractiveness in like knowing a character. This is exactly what makes like the stigma around people watching anime or anything that remotely looks close to anime is like either it's children cartoons or the people who watch anime are weirdos. That weird stigma. I never used to get that because I feel like it started to become more mainstream as I was going through school. But at the end of the day, most of the people in school were just watching Naruto. But no, man, like what the fuck? McMichael went into great detail about finding pleasure in CP according to the court records, and he said the post was a joke. Like, somebody who passionately talks about like that, they're upset that a scene got blurred and has to separate, and then says if he had a little, nah, it's just a joke, bro. What?
Later, Thaddeus would
This
go into
stuff
great
writes
detail about
itself.
finding pleasure in CP, according to court records. He said that that post was also a joke. On November 27th, Thad wrote, "All CP isn't rape. Sometimes the kids want it. Most of the time, they need it." He said this post, too, was a joke.
We're turning off the Iceberg video. We're done. We're done. I'll come back to this. This can't be real, bro.
On December 1st, he wrote, "I got a plan ahead. Can't have all my classmates knowing I walk around with 6 gigs of CP on my keychain." Again, he said this post was a joke. When investigators asked Thaddeus about a
He's got to have. Oh shit! I muted it. He's got to have something
made
wrong
on
with
December 9th, in which he wrote, "Yes, I carry around an 8GB drive full of CP," he said, "I plead the fifth." Well, they got a hold of his 8GB flash drive that he repeatedly said was full of CP, and what it contained was a folder called Things that contained another folder called Don't Click, and then another inside that folder called CP. What a fucking idiot. I mean, why did the agents click on it? It said don't click, Jesus. He was sent to jail, obviously, although he was released on bail about a year later. However, he would still be forced to wear an ankle bracelet and was prevented from using the internet. 3 days before his bail ended, he tweeted, "I'm back, missed my waifu, stupid feds didn't even find my backup hard drive, hashtag YOLO, hashtag swag, hashtag waifu, hashtag anime pussy." His bail was revoked. He would then serve a prison sentence of 5 years from 2013 to 2018, and upon release, returned to the internet, now a free man. His first video back was this.
If you can't beat them, you gotta join them.
Ready to be an e-commerce pioneer? Bluehost has step-by-step WordPress onboarding to make creating and running a great online store easy as pie.
As of today, he still regularly posts on YouTube, lurking around and even commenting on videos about himself, and replying to old comments. If you've been around the internet for the past 7 years, especially
I guess that guy was just built. He was built different.
if you've been around the Undertale community, you might be familiar with a video by Lugini, I never learned how to pronounce it, called Undertale the Musical, also known as Story of Undertale, which is a parody of Lady Gaga's Bad Romance, themed around the genocide run of the game. With astoundingly bad animation and audio and just about everything, it became a big meme to ironically gas this video up. Also, if you're enough of a sadist to sit through all of it, you're treated to the information that it was made in memoriam of the owner's late pet dog, which I don't even know what to say about that. That's just Wow. You might ask, though, with 17 million views, why is it all the way down here in tier 6? Well, over the years, somewhat of a culture has formed in the comment section of the video. If you sort by newest, you can find some comments about the video, although a wide majority of them are just people talking about their lives or really anything else. And I'm not saying that in the same way that people would write down comment section journals, but rather it functions more like a chat room or a Discord server. Many people down here talk like they're familiar with each other, and at any time of day you can just watch them conversing, with it being very rare for the most recent comment to be older than a couple of minutes.
Wow.
Comment sections are generally really weird on popular videos sorted by newest. I'm sure you can find many other communities like this, but it's just weird how united this one is in particular. I believe a big reason is that the video is automatically set to newest first, which is most likely done by the creator to stop everyone from seeing all the top comments shitting on it. But either way, it's quite bizarre that a community like this formed under such circumstances. The internet's a really weird place.
Tats Top
Videos is a pretty popular YouTube channel created in 2010 and is still uploading to this day, sitting at an impressive 800,000 subscribers. Ran by a woman who goes by Tatsumaki, the channel's content mainly focuses on top lists, like, you know, top 10 lists, but basically using any number they feel like. These videos mainly revolve around many different topics, specifically gaming, creepypastas, creepypastas, and the SCP Foundation. I remember being an avid watcher of this channel in the early 2010s. However, a lot of the videos on the channel have been removed for whatever reason. Pretty much all of them are for fairly mundane reasons, like, you know, content ID claims, or the videos just weren't very good, so the channel owners just decided to delete them. Some of them have been re-uploaded to YouTube, either by Tatsumaki herself or fans of the channel. Of the 59 lost videos we know of, 27 of them have yet to be found. In the case of top 75 hardest NES games and top 68 roller coasters specifically, they exist exclusively to Tatsumaki's Patreon. There's not really a huge scandal behind this or anything, but it is interesting that videos by such a popular creator are now lost media. Moral of the story is that you should always archive the works of creators you enjoy, even if they're super popular. You never know when they might be lost.
Very true. That'd be cool. That'd be cool if some of the videos I watched like get archived.
Fake claw machine videos are pretty self-explanatory. They're basically just these videos where people give out ways to hack claw machines in order to always get what they want, implying that they're rigged somehow, which I never really understood how they can be rigged since it's not digital. It's a physical thing that you can see. I don't know how they can fuck with that. I think they're just really hard. Anyways, these hacks will range from pressing down on hidden buttons that apparently exist in the machines, or inputting cheat codes on the stick or what have you. Videos like this also exist for pretty much any other kind of arcade game, like the big wheel spin and so on and so forth. Most of them are fake and get millions of views. A theory I have is that some of these videos are made by people who work for arcades and are pushing fake ways to cheat in order to motivate people into going to test them out. Then when they go, they realize it was fake and they just wasted money. Got their ass. Again, that's by no means confirmed, it's just kind of tinfoil hat shit for me.
Toy box killer
David Parker Ray was an American kidnapper, torturer, rapist, and alleged serial killer who was suspected by police to have murdered as many as 60 people, mostly women, in his home approximately 7 miles north of Truth or Consequences, Mexico. Real ass town name, by the way. He would drug and kidnap women, and when they woke up, they'd be tied up in the back of a trailer, which he nicknamed his toy box, earning him the nickname the Toy Box Killer. There, the women would be held captive for around 3 to 4 months, subject to sexual abuse and torture at the hands of both David himself, as well as his wife Cindy Hendy, and even their fucking dog. He would then drug them in an attempt to erase their memories before abandoning them on the side of the road, or, as many suspected, murdering them. However, no dead bodies were ever found, and he was never actually charged with murder. I mean, he was sentenced to 224 years in prison, although he would only spend about a year in prison before dying of a heart attack. Now, every time he kidnapped a new woman, he would play this tape of his own voice for them. This was like an advisory tape, explaining in extreme detail what would happen to the listener over the course of the next couple months. The tape was never actually released for fairly obvious reasons, however, a transcript was released online, and it's fucking brutal. This Iceberg refers specifically to a reading of the transcript that's meant to be sort of a recreation of the original tape, posted in 2019 by a YouTube user named Mike the Rat Guy. I never really understood why people do this, as why would you want people to hear your voice and imagine David Parker Ray? Am I the only one that thinks that's kind of weird? I don't know.
I'm with you.
The description, he gets weirdly defensive about the copyright of this reading he's done, saying that he's like the sole legal owner of it and no permission is granted for unauthorized use or redistribution.
That's
it's like, dude,
interesting too.
Write out a fucking rapist manifesto.
Yeah.
It's kind of insensitive to the victims, but hey, maybe that's just me.
Yeah, that's odd.
Interior semi-auto. is a
All
video
right, we'll go after this one.
uploaded in 2010 and demonstrates just how far you can take the whole art project thing in order to glide past YouTube censorship. It depicts an art student and her project in front of a group of other art students. She opens up a can of brown, expired SpaghettiOs and begins reciting a poem. She says, "Everything is shit. We apply meaning, value, and worth to the shit surrounding us. We live by this meaning and by our own words. We live by worth and apply value, but everything is shit."
She was cooking. She had a point.
She says this while rubbing expired SpaghettiOs on her titties.
She had a point, but it's more like everything around us is technically meaningless and we give meaning to the things around us, but that would quite literally mean it has meaning and doesn't have meaning. But if you just equate it all to just being shit, you could, but that's like...
She then grabs a pair of scissors and cuts open a hole in her pants right over her crotch area and starts fingering herself with her hands, still covered in sauce, while
What? This
urinating
is
into the
you?
can. She then takes off her
In
shirt,
front of these
wipes up the
people?
mess, refuses to elaborate, and leaves. The audience bursts into applause that lasts around an entire minute. They loved it. The one in the video is named Natasha Stoles, and this was done at an apartment gallery event called Forever 21 in Westtown, Chicago. It quickly left its target audience, though, as in August 2010, it was shared on 4chan, and as a result, people began sending her death threats because, of course, they did. It spread to BuzzFeed, Tumblr, and Reddit.
Okay, sending her... I don't get the death threats thing.
And as it
But sounded like it started in 4chan.
spread, Stoles had her Facebook account, phone number, home address, university, and personal website leaked. Yeah, it's kind of where these stories always end, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. That was, that's odd. I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. Much love, Moonlight. It's getting... I don't want to say still not disturbing. Like, all the people, I wouldn't even say are disturbing. I would say... like, just unfortunate that they choose that path in life or whatever, and couldn't choose to be in something rather than CP. And yeah, but there's been some weird art projects and more ARGs all over the goddamn place. But as for like really genuinely disturbing, no, I guess it just depends on what you call disturbing. I just see a lot of creeps and like weirdos on here. I guess the murderers are a little bit disturbing, but like I'm really trying to see some more wild stuff, or maybe I'm just desensitized. I don't know, but they're hard. Damn, they are still a lot. Like as we got into this list, definitely like Thaddeus or whatever his name, that got pretty big. That is pretty hefty, you know, because before you hear, okay, this dude was a PEDO, but now you hear this dude and it's like now we're getting the PEDOs that are standing on business or some sort of thing. Like I don't know where this is birthed from. Again, it has to do something with their experience or how they're brought up, or just maybe some, like my man said, y'all didn't get me with my bigger drive that has CP on it, and then they investigate, like they got him again. Man served 5 more years, got out and said bad ending. If you can't beat him, join him. Like why? All right, man. These dudes are living different. I'm out of here.